Well, I've had a reply from someone who saw my video clip on YouTube for A Cure for Religion. Someone called Nicole from the United States. This is what she said. Phil, I tried leaving you a comment on your MySpace page, A Cure for Religion, but it didn't work out. So I thought I would try to here. First, it is impossible to disprove the existence of God. You may have a theory, but that is all it is. If it were possible to disprove the existence of a higher power, then it would have already happened by now. Secondly, I find it curious why anyone would be motivated to try to prove someone's faith false. Faith is an intimate thing, and I really don't believe anyone has the right to destroy something so personal. The freedom of religion is every man, woman and child's right. So many things impact the very core of what we believe, and there is no convincing someone that what they have felt all their life is incorrect. Until the end of time, there will be different beliefs and philosophies in the world. Diversity is what makes our world beautiful. It takes many colours to paint the rainbow. It is no man's right to judge another man according to his religion. I think you really need to sit down and ask yourself whether or not you should do something like this to people. Because that, my friend, is what this is all about, on one level or another. Science is all part of how God works. Science and religion does go hand in hand. You just have to recognise what it is that you are looking at. Nicole. Okay, well, this is my reply. Dear Nicole, thank you so much for your message, and I do really appreciate the time you took to write it. To begin at the beginning, it is possible to disprove the existence of God. People have been doing it for years, but no one listens. How can you possibly know whether my proof works or not, incidentally, if you don't know what my proof is? You seem to have decided that my view is false without even considering it, let alone considering it with an open mind. And talking about false views, I am looking for willing volunteers to take part in my film. People are free, of course, to choose any religion, but they are also free to choose whether or not to take part. And equally, I'm free to make a documentary about my attempts to convert people to atheism. Faith is intimate to some people, but not to others. And I wouldn't want to ban people from preaching in the streets. They're doing what they believe is right and good. But so am I. So please support me in what I do. Please support my rights. As for, there is no convincing someone that what they have felt all their life is incorrect. Well, I'm sure you're actually correct in that analysis for many people. But doesn't that simply mean that such people are closed-minded, unwilling to question their beliefs? Well, I think that's a problem and potentially dangerous. Imagine a world, for example, in which people believed that black people were inferior to whites. Now, someone might believe that all their life and there might be no convincing them, but that doesn't mean to say it's true. I think it's actually lucky that we live in a world in which it's possible to use reason and argument to change a person's mind. As for the right to judge people for having a belief, well, I can't help judging people in terms of making a decision about what I think of them. I mean, it's simply what I believe, that all religious faith is false. It doesn't mean to say that I'm judging people as being bad in any way. And apart from anything else, isn't it true that all the major religions judge their faith as the one and true faith, and that other faiths are false? Finally, to ask myself why I want to do this to people, well, do what? You know, if God exists and one faith is true, then I won't be able to disprove it, will I? If God does not exist and all faiths are false, as I assert, then I'll be actually liberating people from false knowledge, won't I? The reality is, I'm simply trying to make an interesting documentary about faith. I am looking for articulate and intelligent people to interview, by the way. This is not about making people look stupid. I do, of course, appreciate that it's going to take a very special person to willingly have their faith dissected so publicly. A real test of faith. But if you think about it, I'm also sticking my neck out, aren't I? So just to repeat, I'm looking for religious fundamentalists from any faith, and I'm going to, firstly, prove to them that God does not exist. Secondly, prove to them that their faith is false. And thirdly, I'm going to convert them to atheism. If anyone's interested, please email me.